Okay, good afternoon. My name is Wanjiro Ndongo. I'm the General Manager of Credit. Today, our whiteboard session is on strategic planning. Well, Mokami, what is strategic planning?
Wow. Strategic planning, I would say, it's a plan whereby you set your focus in terms of where you want to go within a certain time frame. Maybe for Gao Credit, being an example, in this case, we would say starting 2018 up to 2022, where do we want to be as a company? And that is not only in terms of the operations, but as a company, what is the growth, how would we rate our growth by beginning this point to the 2022?
All right, thank you so much. That was well defined. Well, as she has put it, strategic planning is more coming up with a direction in terms of where does an institution want to go. And in today, I have segmented this into three in terms of strategic planning because there's a lot to be covered on strategic planning. So the first one would be the blue ocean strategy. The second one would be coming up with the right team in terms of strategizing as an organization. And lastly, but not least, are the guidelines on how to implement or effect the strategies that one is coming about. Yeah, so the first one I would like to talk about the blue ocean strategy. Well, on the blue ocean strategy, this was a strategy that was developed in 1984. I think most of us have been to Osaka's. Yeah. This was a comparison between the theater and the circus, whereby the blue ocean strategy and the red ocean was whereby we had the red ocean strategy in terms of let me just rephrase that. On the blue ocean strategy, this was derived in 1984, whereby we had an issue. There was this guy called Circus du Soleil, and then we had the Ring brothers. So Circus du Soleil came into a market that was already existing by the Ring brothers, but then when he came into the market, he was able to come up with the blue ocean strategy in terms of, he came up with a strategy whereby he was able to tap a market that the Ring brothers had not actually tapped into, and that is how this strategy came about. For him, he looked at a few aspects. When you look at a red ocean strategy is like, for example, a microfinance industry, whereby we have the Shylocks. I would say we have so many people lending out money, even individual borrowings, whereby one can borrow 10,000 shillings and you earn interest on it. Yeah. So this is an already saturated market. You get. Yeah, so in this kind of market, that is the market we currently are in. Yeah, we have very many players inside this market, and everybody is trying to get a piece of the resources and the clientele. Yeah, so that is how, like, we're trying to outperform each other. It's so crowded, yeah? So making the place, like, I want to know what is my competition doing. They're doing this tomorrow, I'm gonna do that. So at least if they're getting 10 clients, I get a piece of the 5 clients. So that is, the blue ocean strategy more makes the market a bit bloody in terms of everybody is rushing to get a piece of the cake, I would say. But the blue ocean strategy, this is whereby you're able to come up with new ideas and innovative ways to see how you can tap into new markets and create demand. So by the time you're getting in here, let's say, for example, this would be Ngao coming into now using the blue ocean strategy. This is Ngao, true. This is a market that is not saturated as this market. So by the time probably we're going into 15 years or 20 years from now, we will have already tapped into this market. But with this market, can anybody foresee a future with this market? Because it's too saturated and everybody wants a piece of this. But when we strategize and look at ourselves and look at, especially when you're looking at aspects from a client's perspective, that is how you will be able to learn there's a gap here, and this is what we can actually do. Yeah? So that is on the blue ocean strategy. Any questions on that? Anyone that has a question? Okay, all right. So the other one I would like us to discuss on is in terms of having an effective team, yeah? So the first aspect of having an effective team is, okay, these are team members. These are team members. The first aspect of having an effective team is that you must have the right people and the right roles. That is why sometimes when you get into an organization, you know, we got stuff like job specifications and job descriptions that one normally gets. As a team member, you must learn your team. You must know, have I actually put the right person at this position? Because at the end of the day, what you want are results. Yeah. So this is the first aspect. You must have the right people and the right roles at place. Then, for you to powerfully align them, you must be operating effectively. We cannot have one department saying A and another department saying B, because at the end of the day, you guys are not in sync and we will have an issue. So we must have all departments operating effectively for us to be able to achieve the common goal, yeah? Right? So the last one, but not least, is we must also collaborate effectively. I don't think I need water, some water. Okay, so we must collaborate effectively as a team. Like for most of us, I would want to ask this question, and I know I've asked a few of you. Everybody in 2018 comes up with, I'll say, resolutions for the year 2018, true? Yeah, we all have our resolutions for the year 2018. Well, the resolutions for the year 2018, how do you view, like, for example, if I asked Morai, your 100 days since the 1st of 2018, where do you foresee yourself in the 100 days, or what are some of the achievements you have, or some of the visions that you have as the operations?
I think that question takes me back to the start of the 100 days, which was the beginning of the year. Yeah? So in my line of operations, if there is something I felt that we didn't have in 2017, and I thought it's something that we should achieve in the first quarter, which is now the 100 days, is efficiency. Our level of efficiency was extremely too low. So by the end of the 100 days, then I should be able to sit down and review and see, are we efficient in our terms of relaying our information and giving the products to the clients. Second, in terms of targets, last year we closed with an average of 45 to 50% of targets. That is throughout the year. So again, in the 100 days, that will be the end of quarter one. How well will we be doing on our targets? That is on our monthly targets. So those are some of the indicators of that I would look in my operations department.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, and one most important thing, we must always check these aspects, yeah, of that everything is flowing in place so as not to have clogs in our system, yeah, as an organization. So the next one would be, we're going to look at the guidelines. What guides you towards being a strategic planner? The first one is strategy, delivery, and strategy decision. When you come up with a strategy delivery,